Come to the top of your mat. Place your feet underneath your hips. And firmly start to press the heels into the floor. And lifting the toes off the floor. Pressing the ball of the foot into the floor. So the inside and the outside. And then spreading the toes wide and placing them back down. Feeling how your weight is distributed equally throughout the feet. Closing the eyes. Noticing if you're still wobbling from left to right. If you are, then just start to press your heels more into the floor. Lift your kneecaps, so activate the quadriceps. Maybe slightly internally rotating the thighs, so pressing the heels out so that the thighs move in, without the heels actually moving. Then tucking the pelvis under so that you have more space in your lower back. Becoming aware of your breath. Feeling how the air is flowing into your nose and how it's going all the way via the back of the throat, bronchia, into the lungs. Maybe noticing how the air is slightly warmer as you exhale. And as you feel your breath flowing in and out of your body, you're tuning back into your posture, pressing the heels into the floor, the ball of your foot, subtle internal rotation of the thighs, subtle tucking of the tailbone. And then you're starting to lift the chest bone up and forward. Now, as you do that, you want to bring the lower ribs back in. You want to also lift the shoulders up and back. And then relaxing them all the way down, spreading the fingers wide and being fully engaged both in your legs, in your arms, and in your upper body. And as soon as you're in the posture, you turn your attention back to the flow of the air that is entering and leaving your body. Being fully focused with your mind on your posture and on your breath, and thus bringing the mind back to this moment, to you, all the time. As you feel your heels and the ball of your foot pressing into the floor, your legs being active, your chest bone moving up, shoulders back and down. You also start to lift from the crown of the head, so your neck becomes just a little longer. Crown of the head becomes just a little higher. You're slightly tucking in the chin to make your neck even longer. Feeling how your entire body is active and ready to take off, and noticing the movement behind your eyes. Feeling the air on your skin. Hearing the sounds around you. Tuning your full attention to the sound of your own breath. Maybe you can hear it coming from the back of your throat. Creating a subtle constriction in the vocal cords so that your breath becomes audible. Taking a deep inhalation in and a long exhalation out. Bringing both hands together in your chest, bowing your head to your heart and setting an intention for this practice. Maybe there's a feeling that you'd like to experience. Picking the eyes open. And on the next inhalation, you raise your hands to the sky. You look up to the hands, the palms meet. And on the exhalation, you bend the elbows out and the shoulder blades move close together. And your chest bone goes up to the sky, still keeping the pelvis tucked or the tailbone tucked, so you're not arching in the lower back. Inhale, hands go up to the sky, look up, pelvis is tucked. Exhale, fold from the hips, opening the arms to the side, and keep looking forward until you're at 90 degrees. You relax your neck, you relax your back, you bend your knees so that you can actually touch the floor. And on the next inhalation, your hands go on your shins, your legs become long, your back becomes long, you look just in front of the mat and your shoulders go back. On the exhalation, you place your hands on the floor and you step back into plank, firmly pressing the heels back, lifting the kneecaps, pressing the fingers and the hands into the floor, and actually pressing the hands forward so that the knuckle underneath the index finger gets grounded. Now also externally rotating the shoulders. And bringing the knees to the floor, bending the elbows so that they go backwards and end up next to your ribs, your chest, and your chin goes to the floor. Inhale, turn the toes around, lift your chest up, tuck the upper belly in. And exhale, come over your knees to child's pose, and then to downward facing dog. Maybe walking your dog, lifting one heel and then the other, bending one knee, and then lengthening the other as you're bending the one. Still being mindful of the hands and really strongly pushing the hands forward. Maybe also externally rotating the shoulders and internally rotating the hands. So they're not actually moving, but they're spinning inwards so that you have a strong lock in your hands and in your arms. Now start to lift the pelvis higher and higher so that your back and your arms are in one straight line with each other. You can keep your knees bent. A long back is more important than long legs. Taking one more deep inhalation here. And a long exhalation. And on the next inhalation, bending the knees, looking forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins, leg long, back straight. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, engage the core, engage the glutes, come up to a stand, hands overhead, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, move your hands out and up till the palms meet and interlace the fingers. And as you exhale, you bend over to the left. Inhale, come to the middle. Exhale, bend over to the right. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Inhale, middle. Exhale, right. Now stay there. Keep lengthening your arms. Maybe rotating the left armpit towards the sky just slightly. And maybe going slightly deeper on every exhalation. So inhale, lengthening the arms. Exhale, going a little bit deeper. One more time. And on the next inhalation, you come back to the middle and you open the arms out, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Hands overhead, interlace the fingers. And then exhale, fold to the left. Staying here. So opening up the armpit to the sky, the exhalation, and lengthening the arms on the inhalation. And then moving a little bit deeper on every exhalation. next inhalation, come back to the middle. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, move your hands out and up. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, open up your chest. Elbows go back. Shoulder blades come together. Chest bone goes up. Inhale, hands overhead. And exhale, keep looking forward as you hinge from the hips. And then look down. Relax your hands on the floor. Relax the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulders back. Exhale, plank. Shooting the heels back. Engaging the quadriceps. Slightly tucking the pelvis. Pushing the hands forward and down. And externally rotating the shoulders. Then bending the knees. Bending both elbows backwards. Until your knees, chest and chin are on the floor. Inhale, slide forward, lift your chest, tuck the belly in. And exhale in the downward facing dog. Remembering the position of your hands. So try to make contact with the knuckle underneath the index finger and the floor by pressing the hands forward. Then externally rotating the shoulders, so tucking the triceps under the biceps. And then slightly bending the knees so that you can lift your hip higher and higher. Make your lower back as long as possible. Taking one more deep inhalation. And a long exhalation. Now inhale, bend the knees, look forward. And exhale, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up, look up to your hands. Exhale, hands to your heart. Starting to bend both knees, lengthening the arms in front of you. So your knees are not going beyond your toes. You can actually still see your toes if you're looking down. And then you're starting to tuck the pelvis and lift the chest. I want to have your lower back neutral, slightly arched, but not too much. So that is why you're tucking your pelvis on the exhalation. On the inhalation, you're lifting your chest. And you're sliding further down. So inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, tucking the pelvis. Stay here for 2. 1. And then on the next inhalation, you're slowly lifting on to the toes as you come up. So you're coming all the way onto your toes, and we're staying here for 5. Your arms are still forward, your shoulders are relaxed. 3. 2. Keep finding one point to gaze at. Where you're looking at, that's where your focus is. If you're focused on one point, you can keep any balancing posture. Now slowly start to bend the knees, but keeping the toes lifted. So you're going into chair pose, but with the toes, with the heels off the floor. Tuck the pelvis on the exhalation and lift the chest bone on the inhalation. Stay here for 4. 3, relax the shoulders. 2, relax your face. And 1, and then slowly on the inhalation, finding your way back all the way onto your toes. Heels off the floor as high as you can. And exhale, release the heels to the floor. Now bringing the toes together, the heels are pointing out. And then you're starting to bend the knees and really push the thighs into each other. Keeping the arms long in front of you. 5. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and go a little bit lower. 3, 2, 1. Now slowly find your way back up. Bring the heels together, toes together, and the hands together in front of your chest. Closing the eyes. And remembering the intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. Feeling your heartbeat. Tuning back into the air that is going in and out of your nose. And then on the next inhalation, your arms go out and up. Look up to your hands, the palms meet. And exhale, back bend. Tucking the pelvis, bring the elbows and the shoulder blades together. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your weight slightly more forward. And exhale, plank. Maybe you want to bring your knees to the floor. Maybe you want to think of your alignment, so pushing the hands forward, shoulder blades up, external rotation of the shoulders, heels back, quadriceps engaged, and then bending the elbows so that you can move forward into chaturanga. And turning the toes around and lengthening the arms on the inhalation. Moving the shoulders back, neck back, chin back, and exhale, downward facing dog. Remembering your hands, your shoulders, your hip, keeping the knees slightly bent, and moving the bum up on every inhalation, so creating more length. And also pushing the hands away from you on every exhalation. 2, 1. Now inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, step or hop in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise. Up to your hands. Exhale, hands to heart. Now let's start to lift the right foot off the floor. Then on the next inhalation, your hands go up overhead. On the exhalation, your right arm goes under. And either the back of your hand or the palm of your hands meet each other. And you're lifting, so pushing the elbows away from you, pushing the hands forward, and then maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to slide your right thigh over your left, and then tuck the right foot behind the left calf. If that's not accessible, you can leave it loose. And now slowly start to bend the left knee. Keeping your elbows lift, your hands moving forward, pulling the hands apart. Pulling the shoulder blades back. And then slowly coming back to a stand on an inhalation. Releasing the foot, releasing the hands. Hands go up. Lift the left foot off the floor. And on exhalation, your left arm goes under the right. And the back of your hands meet, or the palms of your hands meet. And really extending the elbows forward and up. Pushing the hand forward. Pulling the shoulder blades back and close together. And then sliding the left hamstrings over the right thigh. And tucking the foot behind the calf. Bending the right knee. Staying here for 5. Keep lengthening the arms in front of you. Pulling the shoulders back. And bending a little bit further into that knee. 2. 1. Slowly come up on the inhalation. And release. Lifting the right leg up so the knee goes into your chest. And then on the next inhalation, your hands go up. On the exhalation, you fold over your knee and you grab or you interlace the fingers underneath your right foot. Start to kick the foot into the hands. And then you start to lengthen the leg if you want to. Maybe you want to focus on lengthening the left leg as well. And then pulling the shoulders back. If this is too much, you can keep your knee bent. Maybe you want to fold over that last long leg in front of you. Releasing the foot, coming back up to where you started, and bringing your hands to your heart. And lifting the left knee into the chest, hands go up. And on the exhale, you fold over the knee, you interlace the fingers. You push the foot into the hands, you pull the shoulders back. You decide if you want to stay here or if you want to lengthen the left leg. Lengthen the right leg as well. And maybe folding over that left leg. 3, 2, 1. Slowly bending the knee, releasing the foot, coming up on the inhalation. And exhale, hands to your heart. Bring the right knee into your chest, bending forward and extending the right leg behind you. So you want your right toes to be pointing down, not out. So your hip is moving in. You also want to push your heel back. Bring the toes in the direction of the shin so that you're strong. And then maybe you want to keep your hands in front of your chest. Maybe you want to bring them sideways, like an airplane. Or maybe you want to bring them in front of you. And then slowly coming back, extending the leg in front of you. Hands on the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Shaking out the left foot. You deserve that. And then bringing that left knee into your chest. So really pushing the right heel down, ball of your foot down, spreading the weight equally throughout the foot. Then leaning forward, extending the left leg back. Finding a long leg, lifting the heel higher, pressing the toes to the shins, extending the arms wherever you want. Making sure that you're not having your left hip open. So try to point the toes in the direction of the floor. 3, 2, and 1. And bringing your knee into your chest. And then lengthening the leg. Making sure that you're standing straight, so you're not leaning back. Extending the toes, pointing them. 3, 2, and release. Shaking out the right foot. And bring your hands together in your chest. Taking a breath here. Tuning into the heartbeat. Into the sound of your own breath. On the next inhalation, your hands go out and up, overhead. Exhale, back bend. Move your chest bone towards the sky. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Now your version of Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Putting the shoulders back if your arms are long. And downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg off the floor, making sure that the toes are pointing down. So lifting the right leg a little bit higher. And then also starting to extend the left arm again. And the right arm, so that your armpits are at the same height. Fully engaging the left thigh. Lifting the right heel even higher. And then on the next exhalation, stepping it in between your hands. Moving the left heel into a 90-degree angle. The heels are aligned and coming up into warrior two. So your hip is facing the long side of the mat. Your knee is above the ankle. Your arms are long. You're looking to your right middle finger. Your shoulders are relaxed. You want to think of slightly moving the right knee out. This way you're opening up your hip. You also want to keep on pushing the outer edge of the left foot into the floor and engaging the left glute and the left leg fully. Open up the hands to the side and start to move forward and bring your right arm in one straight line with the lower part of your leg. So you're just not touching the floor and you're pushing the elbow into the leg so that you can open up your chest. Your left arm is long and overhead, looking up to the left hand. Try to keep your hips in the center line between your heels. Try to really open up the chest. Looking down, and on the next inhalation coming back to warrior two. Exhale here, and then reach forward, up and back. So your right knee is still bent above the ankle. Your left hand is on top of your right thigh. And your right arm is as long as possible. So you're really stretching by lengthening the right arm. You can look up to your right hand or down to your left foot. Here for 2, 1, and warrior 2. And turning the toes in. So your heels are slightly pointing out, your toes slightly in. Your hands are on your hips. And then you place the index or the fingers down just above your bum. Your hands are on the sacrum now, and then you start to move the elbows towards each other, the chest bone up, and only then you start to lean back. So that you're not really leaning back, you're more lengthening from the chest bone. Subtle upper back bend. Doing the opposite thing of what you're doing on your computer and your phone. And then coming back up to neutral. And on exhalation, folding forward from the hips. You can keep looking forward as long as you can. And then relaxing the neck. Placing the hands in between the feet. Or maybe just in front. And then on each inhalation, you want to think of opening up the chest bone towards the floor. And on the exhalation, you want to bring your weight just slightly forward and relax the neck. So inhale, chest bone moves up to the floor. Exhale, relax the neck. Lean forward. Inhale, chest bone to the floor. The next exhalation, you're also going to try to lengthen your legs. Staying here for 2. And slowly walking the hands forward. Placing the hands on your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale here. Inhale, come up to stand. And exhale, warrior 2. Staying here for 5. 4. 3. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Plank, chaturanga, cobra. We meet back in downward facing dog.
And then immediately lifting the left heel, the left foot off the floor, extending the leg. One straight line with your arms, your back. Trying to point the toes in the direction of the floor to really kick the heel back. And then to lengthen both arms equally, so you're not collapsing into one of your armpits. Lift the left leg a little bit higher, and on the next exhalation, step it in between your hands. Warrior 2, so back foot 90-degree angle, heels in one line.
Your knee is over your ankle, top of the ankle, and your hip is in one straight line with the long side of your mat. Look to your left middle finger. Keep on breathing deeply. On the next inhalation, open the hands to the side. On the exhalation, move forward. You take extended side angle, Bikram style. So lengthening the arm, the underarm, in one straight line with the lower leg. Pushing the arm into the leg so that you open up from the hip and from the chest. And up to the right hand. 3, 2, looking down. And on the inhalation, come back to warrior 2. Exhale here. Now inhale, reach forward, up and back. A reversed warrior. Lengthening the left arm. The left knee is still above the ankle. Pulling the right shoulder blade back and down. Exhale, warrior 2. Now coming to 5-pointed star, so turning the left toes in. Toes are in, hands are on the back. On the sacrum, fingers pointing down, and move the elbows towards each other, shoulder blades towards each other. Lift from the chest bone. Looking up to the sky. Coming back to neutral, grabbing both hands together behind your back and lengthening the arms fully. Maybe your palms are together, maybe they're apart. And on the next exhalation, fold forward, keep looking forward until you're at 90 degrees. And then look down, relax the neck.
Start to lengthen the legs on every exhalation. And bring the chest bone a little bit forward and your weight a little bit forward on the inhalation. Exhale, lengthen the legs and fold forward. And inhale, create a long back. 3. Maybe releasing the hands a little bit lower. 2. And last one in. And now releasing the hands onto the hips. Inhale, halfway lift.
Exhale here. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. Staying here for 5, 4. Push the outer edge of the right foot into the floor. 3, 2. Exhale, we meet back in down dog. So you can take a vinyasa or not. It's up to you. If you do, then shoulders back, fully lengthening the arms in up dog. And we meet back in down dog.
If you want to take a sip of water or short child pose,
This is your moment. I'm definitely going to do that because of all the talking.
And then coming from child's pose, we slowly move forward and up into down dog. Preparing ourselves for the last standing flow of this sequence. So finding your perfect down dog. And then lifting the right leg off the floor. Exhale, knee to nose, coming high onto the left toes. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, opening up the knee to the sky. The right foot is pointing towards the floor, so your knee is really high. You're opening up your hip in this position. Again, you want to think of lengthening both arms equally, and maybe you can look underneath your left armpit to your right heel. Keep on moving the right knee higher and higher and higher. And try to move your left hip a little bit back into the middle. Now inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, warrior two. So foot in between the hands.
Left foot at 90 degrees. And then lengthening the right leg, maybe stepping the left foot a little bit closer and moving forward, forward and forward, and then down till you're in triangle pose. Your left arm is up, your right hand is resting on the leg, or you're pushing into the leg so that you can open up the chest just slightly more. Then you want to think of lengthening the rib cage equally, so you're not collapsing to the bottom. You're actually having a long spine. You're really twisting from it's originating at the lower abs, so close to the hip. Maybe you want to look up to your left hand, engaging the right thigh, thinking that you're in between two walls. Feeling how this posture is making you warmer. And then slowly looking down, bending the knee and coming back into reversed triangle. So now the leg is long again, your arm is long as in reversed warrior. Maybe this one is a little bit more relaxed. And now you're moving your left hand next to the right. You're stepping your left foot slightly closer and in 45-degree angle. You interlace the fingers and you start to bring your chin to your chest. And then you're folding forward, so you're diving into the swimming pool. And then maybe you want to fully engage the right thigh. Maybe you want to push the left heel back. Maybe you want to bring the right hip a little bit back and the left hip a little bit forward. Maybe you also want to relax the hands and just touch the floor, if that's accessible. Or grab your leg, your right leg. Think of bringing the right hip back on the inhalation. And try to extend the chest on the next inhalation. Folding forward on the exhalation. Extending the chest. Folding deeper. And then halfway lift. Placing both hands on the floor and lifting the left leg off the floor. Bring it as high as you can and allowing your head to move in the direction of your right knee. Maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to try to grab your right leg, first with your right hand, maybe also with your left hand. And then start to lift the left leg higher and higher and higher. And release, step the left foot next to the right, inhale, halfway lift. Staying here, moving your weight slightly forward. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, move back into plank. And meet back in downward facing dog. You will find your own way. And lift the left leg off the floor. Really lifting the heel higher. Pointing the toes in the direction of the shins. And then exhale, knee to nose, coming onto the tippy toes of the right foot. Inhale, coming back up. And then bending the knee so that your knee is moving up and your heel is moving down. So your knee is pointed towards the sky, and then you also start to lengthen both arms. You're not collapsing into one of the shoulders. And you start to bring your right hip more into one center line. Lift the left knee higher on each inhalation. Maybe looking to the right heel. The left heel, sorry.
Exhalation, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior two.
Inhale, come up to warrior two, I mean. And then exhale, lengthening the left leg, moving forward and down into triangle pose. Maybe stepping your right leg closer if this is uncomfortable. And really pushing the hand into the leg. Letting the right hips move a little bit lower. And looking up to your right hand. Bring both hips into center line. Keeping the left thigh engaged. Feeling open, starting from the base, from your pelvis. As you exhale, you look down, bend the knee, inhale, come back up to reverse triangle. Lengthening the left arm completely. And then letting both hands meet, stepping the right foot much closer. It's at 45 degrees. And your fingers interlace. You bring your chin to your chest, and exhalation, you dive into the swimming pool.
Now engaging the left thigh. Bring the left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward, and really pushing the outer edge of the right foot into the floor. Maybe releasing the hands. Make sure to relax the neck and to keep on breathing. Bring the left hip back, right hip forward. And then placing both hands on the floor, lifting the right leg up, coming into, I don't know the name of this posture anymore. So really lengthening the left leg fully, bringing your chest in the direction of the knee and maybe grabbing the left leg with the left hand, then also with the right hand. Start to lift the right leg higher and higher and higher. Keep on breathing and stare at your toes, at your big toe. Bending the right knee, stepping the foot next to the left, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up to stand.
And exhale, hands to your heart. Closing the eyes. Feeling your heartbeat. Tuning back into the breath. Noticing the subtle feeling behind your eyebrows. Inhale, hands go out and up, look up. Exhale, open up the arms, chest to the sky. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, fold forward.
Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Staying here. Really engaging the core. Really engaging the legs. So lifting the kneecaps. Pushing the heels back and pushing the hands forward and down. Externally rotating the shoulders so that your armpits are moving forward. Or not the armpits, the eyes of your elbows. And then slowly bending the elbows so that you move to the floor in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your right cheek onto the floor. Taking a couple breaths here, just relaxing. Maybe already start to push the
pelvis into the floor. Then extending the arms in front of you. And on the next inhalation, you lift the right arm up and the left leg up. Exhale, move down. Inhale, left arm up, right leg up. Exhale, down. Keep on doing this on your own pace. Really think of engaging the glutes. Maybe coming a little bit higher than you normally would. And also tucking in the upper belly. Creating a super strong back. Come on, 4 more. Left. Last one on the right. And the last one on the left. Release. Left cheek on the floor. Bring the toes together, so the big toes are touching. The legs are touching. They're really pressing into each other. And then you look forward, your chin is on the floor, your arms are long. And the next inhalation, you're starting to lift the legs off the floor, pushing the pelvis in. Exhale here. Now inhale, tuck the belly in, lift the arms off the floor. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Finding your breath. And start to bend both knees so that you can grab the ankles from the outside. And you want the toes to be moving towards each other again. So your feet are not moving out, they're moving in. And you're starting to kick the feet back, fully engaging the thighs so that you're pulling your shoulders open. So your shoulder blades are moving towards each other, opening the chest by kicking the legs back. Tucking the upper belly in. Coming higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Finding your way into child's pose. The knees together, your forehead on the floor. And then sitting up and lifting your bum off your heels. So the heels are pointing back, the toes are pointing back. They're straight. And then you bring the hands on the sacrum, fingers pointing down. You start to move the elbows closer together. And the shoulder blades as well. At the same time, each inhalation you lift the chest towards the sky, and on the exhalation move the elbows and the shoulder blades close together. You also fully engage the glutes. And maybe at some point you start leaning back, and you notice that there's no more space in the chest. And with full activation in the glutes, you can maybe reach back to grab your left heel, and then your right heel. You can also stay where you are. Keep on breathing, keep on engaging the glutes. Opening up the chest to the sky. And only if this feels super comfortable, you can relax your neck, back. I would recommend to keep on looking up. Now first tucking the chin into the chest, then placing your right hand on your glutes, activating the glutes, placing the left hand on the glutes, and then sitting up straight and lowering the hips towards the heels. Closing the eyes and noticing what this posture is doing with your energy level. Feeling into the center of your head. center of your heart. You can stay here and enjoy these sensations. We can go for another time. Now, if the previous version was too strong, you should probably point your toes down. I should have taught you that first. So your toes are pointing down. The rest of the position is exactly the same. So your hands are on the glutes and you start by opening up the chest, by pushing the elbows together in the shoulder blades. So that is everything that you do in the beginning. So you're really lengthening from the chest, opening up the thoracic part of the spine, slowly starting to look up, engaging the glutes, and then maybe reaching for your left heel and then your right. I will point my toes back because it's super uncomfortable in the knees to have them pointing down. And then reaching one hand back and then the other grabbing the heels. And then really start to push the glutes into each other. Lift from the belly, lift from the chest. Feeling a strong back bend. Strong chest opener. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your chin onto your chest, engaging the glutes, placing the right hand on the glutes, and then the left hand, and slowly sitting down. Taking a couple of seconds to observe the breath and the energy in your body. And placing the back of the right hand on the outside of the left knee. Grabbing your the outside of the right foot, your left hand, and then pushing the hand into the leg and into the foot. And on the inhalation, you lengthen the spine. On the exhalation, you twist from your core. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Your neck is following your shoulder, but you're not looking all the way back. Keep your neck relaxed. So inhale, lengthen the spine, move the crown of your head up. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, back to middle. And then place the back of your right hand on the left hand on the right knee. Grabbing the left foot with the right hand. And inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Each inhalation you can lengthen the spine. Each exhalation you twist a little bit deeper. You want to use your core more than you use your hands. You want to keep your neck relaxed. Now I do this because it's important to move the spine in all directions. And also because this neutralizes the spine after a strong back bend. So we can now go into the core chapter. So coming back to the middle and the inhalation. Walking your heads to the corner of the mat, finding your way to downward facing dog. And then maybe choosing if you want to jump into a seated position, or if you want to find your own way there. If you want to jump, internally rotate the hands, externally rotate the shoulders, feeling the hips higher, bending the knees. Take a deep inhalation here. Exhale, look forward, and then engage the Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and jump forward. Coming on to the sitting bones, grabbing, maybe first resting the feet onto the floor, grabbing the knees from the back and then opening up the chest again so the shoulders go back, chest go forward, and then lifting the feet off the floor. If this is too much, you can bring the feet back down. If this is not enough, you can push the legs into each other and lengthen the arms. You can also lengthen the legs a little bit more. I won't do that for today. Staying for 5. Keeping the chest open. 2, 4, 3. And slowly lower down to low boat. So your shoulders are off the floor, your upper belly is tucked in,
Your heels are off the floor and your hand palms are facing up. Feeling how you're shaking. And then slowly lowering all the way down. Bringing both knees into your chest. Maybe crossing the ankles over each other, bringing the hands behind the ears. And then lifting your chest towards your knees. So you're only touching your ears, you're not pulling your neck forward. Your elbows are actually moving out. And you're tucking the upper belly in. You're staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release the head. The legs stay at the same position, but the heels are next to each other now. And on the next exhalation, you lengthen the right leg and you bring the right elbow to the left knee. Inhale, right leg goes back, elbow goes back. Exhale, left elbow, right knee, and the left leg goes long. Now inhale back on your own pace, and instead of the ankle or the elbow, I want you to think of the armpit towards the knee. So make you go a lot deeper. 4, 6, 8, 10. Come on, faster. 6, 8, 10, and relax. Hugging the knees into the chest, making yourself small. Small as a little ball. Maybe also tucking the chin into the knees. And slowly starting to roll forward and back until you find yourself back into downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg off the floor. Bring the right knee to the right wrist. The foot's pointing out. And you're starting to slide your left leg back to pigeon pose. And maybe you want to just stay here. If this is too intense, you can also come and lay on your back. And instead of hurting your knee, I would recommend doing that if your knee is painful now. And then you can just do this pose. So your shin is on top of your left thigh and you're hugging your left thigh closer. You activate the right foot. If you're in pigeon, you may want to try what happens if you lift your hands off the floor. But first you have to engage your left glutes completely. Maybe you can also lift the knee off the floor, extending the arms overhead. And then on the exhalation, clipping your wings out, falling forward. And relaxing the forehead onto the arms, onto the floor, or maybe you're actually resting on your elbows. And this pose can be very intense, and if you're in pain or in a very intense sensation at the moment, I want to emphasize to really tune into the breath. To breathe in energy into the direction where you feel the stretch. And knowing that if it's a muscular stretch, then it's completely okay. As soon as your knee starts to hurt, I want you to get out of this posture. And maybe moving slightly from left to right to see where you find more stretch. So inhaling life energy to the place of the stretch, and as you exhale, you consciously relax. Maybe you want to stop doing the sound of the ocean. Just turn back to your normal breathing pattern. Still breathing deep though, allowing the air to flow all the way into the bottom of your lungs. Relaxing the hips. Breathing in air and breathing out toxins. Maybe you know that 80% of our toxins are being expelled by the breath. So if you want to get rid of a little bit of acidity, you can just breathe a little bit more. Try to always breathe deep and relaxed. And also know that your body usually knows what to do. So that you don't overcomplicate how to breathe. Maybe relaxing the hips a little bit more. You're in a safe space. You're on the floor. There's nothing that can happen to you except for creating more space in your body and in your mind. Slowly starting to come back up, so pushing the hands into the floor, lifting the elbows off the floor.
Placing the hands in the corner of the mat, turning the left toe around and finding your way back to downward facing dog.
Lifting the left leg up high. And finding your way to pigeon, so left knee, left wrist.
Foot goes to the right side of the mat. And then first you want to look back to your foot to see if it's in one straight line, the leg. And then you want to slide or caterpillar the right leg further back so that the thigh of the right leg moves towards the floor and the outer edge of the left hip as well. Maybe if you just did it on the other side, you want to fully engage the glute, lifting the right knee off the floor, hands off the floor, look up to your hands, and exhale, open up your wings. Or find your own way to resting pigeon.
Maybe noticing how this side of your body feels completely different. Maybe there's much more or much less tension here. And as soon as you feel pain in the knee, get out of this posture. Go lay on your back. Going for shoelace. If you don't feel pain in the knee, maybe you can breathe in air to the place where you feel the discomfort, the stretch, and know that the obstacle is often the way. And by accepting this amount of discomfort in your body, you can learn to stay focused and centered and functional and effective in highly stressful situations. If everything in your body is screaming, get out, and with your mind you're telling no. Creating a super brain. Maybe you can reward yourself being happy and thankful for being able to be in this pose. It's creating some dopamine in the back of your brain. Moving slightly from left to right to intensify or decrease the stretch. Imagine how you're melting into the floor with every exhalation. And also release the tension from your face, slightly opening up the jaws. When you're fully centered in the pose, then turn your attention back to the breath, feeling the air going into the nose, guiding it all the way to the stretch, and slowly breathing out. As As you exhale, you can relax more. Preparing yourself to come back up. Be gentle for yourself and slow. Just put your tissues in a very elastic phase. You slowly want to bring them back to normal. This way you're leaning into the left hip so that you can shift your right leg out and forward. You lengthen both legs in front of you. Now maybe you want to keep your knees bent, but if it's possible you want to extend the legs fully. Only if you can keep your back straight, so you want to sit up straight. If you can't sit up straight, just keep your knees slightly bent. From here you're going to lengthen the hands overhead. And as you look to your hands, you're going to fold forward from the hips. And you stay at 90 degrees or at 45 degrees for a little while, and then on the inhalation you open up the chest. On the exhalation you're going to reach out for the legs or maybe the feet. You can grab them at the toes, the shins, the outside of the feet. The next inhalation again you open up the chest, so the chest bone moves towards the sky. And exhale, you round the back, you relax the neck, and you look down. Maybe you want to just be a little bit passive in this pose. If you feel like you have the energy left, then you can push your heels forward. Turn your toes towards your shins. Internally rotate the thighs, so your legs are fully long and active. And then on each inhalation you can open up the chest forward. And on the exhalation you can think of reaching the top of your head towards the feet. So inhale, just open. Exhale, reach forwards. You're bending your elbows sideways. And at some point you're going to relax again, bending the neck. Keep on breathing. You're staying here for 10 breaths. Long, deep breath in. And a slow and smooth breath out. Slowly coming back up to a seat, but first going for the 45-degree angle. And then going all the way for the 90-degree angle. Slowly laying down. But before you lay down, you lift your feet off the floor so that only your pelvis or your sacrum is touching the floor. Tuck the upper belly in and stay here as long as you are comfortable. Keep on breathing. Maybe moving the feet out and together. Tucking the upper belly in. Remember that. Maybe moving the feet up and down. And then slowly releasing all the way down. Lifting the chin to the chest, placing the back of your head back down so that you have space in the neck and the
bringing both knees into the chest and dropping them over to the right side. Left arm becomes long in one straight line with the body. Look over to the left hand. Tuning into the sensation in between the eyebrows. Engaging the core and bringing the knees back to the middle, and on an exhalation dropping them to the left, extending the right arm, looking to the right, closing the eyes, and focusing on the area behind your chest bone. Also known as the sternum. Trying to tune into the feeling of your heart. And allowing your awareness to go away from your thoughts and into the heart. It's also a nervous system. Similar to the brain. It's even sending more information to the brain than it is receiving, the other way around. Space between your sternum. When you're ready, engaging the core, going back to the middle. Maybe there's still something you'd like to do before you go into Shavasana. Maybe you'd like to grab a happy baby, grabbing the feet from the outside, arms are on the inside of the legs, and you're starting to lengthen the legs slightly, bringing the sacrum back down to the floor, so your lower back is touching the floor and your shoulders as well. Rocking from left to right. And then slowly releasing the feet, bending the knees, finding your way to Shavasana. So the feet are wide apart and the toes are pointing out, so they're falling to the sides. Maybe you want to still tuck your tailbone. The hands are facing to the sky, about 20 centimeters away from your hips. Maybe you want to bring your chin to your chest and place the head back down to find length in your neck. Now you choose your point of focus for the next 5 minutes. You can just let your mind go. Really focus on what's happening in your mind. You can focus on an area of the body, like the area in between the eyebrows.